This is a test video, the idea being to see how I can make book videos from my workstation. What I've done is I've connected up the camera so it works via an app, and I can see what's coming out of the camera on my mobile phone, which means I might be able to align the book. So for the purposes of this experiment, it's going to be my sketchbook, and see, and I have a daily sketchbook which some people may have seen. This drawing is after Augustus John. I'm going to try and zoom in on the actual drawing. Sorry about that. I think when I start to talk about local history books and other books in the bookshop, this could be a useful facility. My own feelings are that social media is moving towards videos and away from pictures and text. This is another one after Augustus John. I tend to do this every morning in bed before I get up. And more Augustus John. And after Edward Poynter, an eminent Victorian architect. Not so good trying to get it to look down. Nothing very much there. This is an Augustus John again. And this is after Leonardo da Vinci. I think Da Vinci is probably easier to copy. This is, what does it say, after George Clausen. He did these rather sentimental country pictures, nice to practice on. And here we are, well, after Michelangelo, much easier. I think Michelangelo was more of a sort of scenery painter. I think he said himself that he was really a sculptor, and painting was a sort of sideline. So there's something to consider, isn't it? This is after Edward Poynter. I thought the chap on the left managed to look, or was it a woman, quite Roman. This is a Raphael that turned into Mr. Jellybean. Lots of little sketches here. Yes, frog people and everything. Really a frog person. One thing with watercolour and pen is that pretty much absolutely permanent, particularly on this sort of quality of paper. So once you've written, you can't really unwrite it. But it helps to learn quickly if there's no way back. Watercolour on very expensive paper, you can sort of scrub it off. This is Augustus John again and his peculiar family life. Oh yes, that one worked a bit better. So this is, zoom in a bit, this is Augustus John and some of his numerous children by various women. He sort of ignored his children apparently, but he did draw them, and drew them quite well really. I think he'd have got into a lot of trouble if he'd been alive today. This is a little tiny watercolour which I did on top of the pavilion just as I discovered that Andy had died. so it's a bit magic realist. I'm not quite sure. Something about the line between the living and the dead anyway. Andy always encouraged me with my painting, but there you have it. Oh, here's a really wacky one. Afraid he wasn't alive to see this one. And oh, that's not so good, is it? Ah, this is something sort of interesting. This is after Andrew Wyeth, I think. Andrew Wyeth did these sort of very subdued tones, which a lot of people don't like. In fact, I had some rather negative comments when I put it on art groups on Facebook, which made me chuckle. Not quite sure whether that was me or Andrew Wyeth being naughty. Here we have Salvador Dali. Oops, better move that up a bit. I'm really learning this orientation thing, but I will probably publish this video unless there's an unfortunate rude word or something. And then still concentrating on the Dali. I sort of got somewhere. In the end, I decided that a combination of Dali and an Andre Duran rather, would produce something that was okay. Well, I quite liked it anyway. Still on the Dalis, couldn't really get it out of my head. Nothing much there. One from Wetherspoons that didn't get finished. I quite like this sort of thing. This is after Tamara de Lempicka, and well, very much this 20s style that she did so well. De Lempicka sometimes does this very distinct shading, which I should like to learn to do better than I've done it. And then, well, I think that's the right way round for this Lempicka. Oh yes, it does go like that, I sort of remember. And then there's a wacky one here. This is me trying to produce something rather three-dimensional in, well, some sort of style, possibly a bit after the Lempicka. I quite like this one. I wanted to express the sort of motoring, flying type of sports back in that time. This one is very odd. But I think Andre Duran probably has had a bad influence on me here. Possibly not much here. And really got very bad there. Not so good there. Or there. Oh, I quite like this. This was from a photo. Because if you went to the traditional art store, you'd be very much discouraged from copying from photos. It was a black and white photo, so I made the colours up as I went along. But there you are. These are more, is that Pascan? I don't know, my French is probably pretty good. And here we are, after Courbet. You can't really go wrong with Courbet. Courbet is pretty straightforward. This is a little one done from the top of the Royal Victoria Pavilion the other day. It's what you call a plein air, where you sit there and paint what you can see outside, really, although I don't quite know what happens when I'm inside a building and do it, which I often am. I don't think it's really strictly plein air. I don't know if there's anything else in here. I think that might be enough of a test video. That's the end of it. So that's signing off for this particular test video.